So skaters want to look good and feel good while they're skating, and that's why so many skaters want these Nike Dunks. Honestly, just such a good looking shoe. However, Nike only releases the Dunks in limited drops, so they're almost impossible to get your hands on at retail price. And most skaters can't afford to pay the resale price on StockX. I mean, we're talking 500 and thousands of dollars, which is why I think Lakai is offering the Telford Low. It's a shoe with a very similar silhouette to a Dunk, but the Telford Low is at a better price point and available all the time. But ultimately the question remains, is this shoe a valid replacement for a Dunk? So in today's video, we're gonna review the Lakai Telford Low. Also, let me know what shoe you want me to review next. Alright, so the Telford Lows retail at $84.99 and come in a bunch of different colorways. Shout out to the homie Josh for sending me these to review. This is the Pacifico colorway. The Telfords are a cup sole shoe with very similar paneling to the Nike Dunks. However, you can tell the main difference between them is the Telfords are a lot more slimmed down than your regular SB Dunks. I'm a big fan of the look of these shoes and honestly was really surprised at how many times I got compliments on them and had people asking what they were, because still a lot of people don't know that these shoes exist. Now, as far as the comfort goes, the first time I put on these shoes, honestly it feels a little bit similar when I put on my Dunks. They're not necessarily like super uncomfortable, but they're not really comfy either. That being said, this cup sole did have a little bit more board feel than I was expecting. It's not quite as thick as the Dunk cup sole, but it is still a thick outsole, and I was pleasantly surprised that there was a little bit more board feel than I was expecting. Now, as far as the flick on these shoes, it was really difficult for me to get used to. Recently, my go-to shoe has been this Nike Force 58, and you can see the difference in the toe caps. The Lakai Telford is a lot pointier than the Force 58, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, but when you're flicking with the Force 58s, there's a lot more shoe grabbing the board, so it's a slower, more controlled flick. And with these Telfords, I felt like the flick was a lot faster, but I didn't feel quite as in control. In terms of durability, I've been actually really pleasantly surprised with these shoes. I've been skating them pretty much every single day for about 3 weeks. The tread on the bottom's just barely starting to show some wear. We've got a little bit of flick damage on the toe, but you can see underneath there they've got this rubber plasticky layer underneath, so it's definitely not gonna break all the way through for quite some time. But overall, the shoe is holding up extremely well. Now, in terms of foot protection, I was never worried about like the board hitting my foot or getting in a weird position trying a trick. However, I was a little hesitant to jump off anything with them. I do like that the outsole is pretty hefty on this shoe, but it's really hard, so it doesn't actually provide much impact protection. It feels like it just gets transferred up into your foot. And I just skated these with the stock insoles. I think had I gotten like some moldable FP insoles or something like that, I think I would have even enjoyed this shoe even more. I asked you guys on Instagram what questions you had about this shoe. How does the suede quality compare to the more corporate shoe brands such as Nike or Adidas? I can't notice a difference. The quality of the leather seems right on par with Nike and Adidas. B Bonafont 17 asks, did you like them better than the Nike Ashads? I'd probably have to say no. In terms of aesthetic, I think I would take the Telfords over the Ashads, but skateability, I think I would take the Ashads. Do you think they skate like a Dunk? Honestly, I haven't actually skated a Dunk in years, but from what I can remember, I would say that yes. To me, they really look like a slimmed down version of a Dunk, and that's probably a good way to describe how they skate as well. Comparison to the Force 58, honestly, you can see that they're a very similar silhouette. As far as the height, the profile is very similar, but you see the width, the toe cap, the pointiness, that's where things differ a little bit. If I had to pick between them, I'd still pick the Force 58s. The Force 58s I don't think are as durable, but I think they skate a lot better. Now, as far as my least favorite thing about these shoes, it definitely has to be this lace protection system. There's a similar feature on the Dunks where basically there's this flap, and if you want, you can lace your laces on the inside flap. That way the outside flap gets worn down rather than your laces. The Nike Ashad has a very similar feature, but what's different is with the Ashad, it's not a flap. It's all one piece and then they just threw some loops underneath. I like that they give you the option to protect your laces, but this flap is just so loose that I had to glue it down, and then after about 5 sessions skating the shoes, it came loose again like this. So this is right where I'm dragging my ollies. So for the first week of skating these shoes, each day I just felt like I was skating worse and worse, like I just couldn't feel my board. And then I looked down and saw how much wear and tear was happening on this lace flap, and it clicked in my head that instead of getting a clean contact with my board and gripping the grip tape, this was like ruining my traction on the grip, so I couldn't feel my board when I was doing any trick that involved that ollie slide. So then once I relaced them the normal way, they started feeling 100 times better, but you are going to break these laces. So this lace flap thing, just stay away from it. That's a no-go. Lace it the normal way, glue over your laces, do what you gotta do. Get some lifetime laces or extended wear laces. Had I skated them with the flap regular, I feel like I would have had a much better experience right out of the gate. Somebody asked me if I would buy these shoes again, and honestly, I do think I would buy these shoes. I think they're a really good looking shoe. My favorite thing about the shoes was just, I love looking down and seeing this triangular patch just like a dunk. I've never skated in a Jordan, but it really gives me that same Jordan feel. And in these shoes, I did feel like some kind of like mental edge because I really enjoyed looking down at my shoes. I just thought they looked cool and I felt cool skating in them. If you're looking for a solid dunk replacement, you need to check out this video where I review the Nike Force 58. It has a lot of the features of the Dunk, but you don't have to worry about paying hundreds and hundreds of dollars to get a pair. Anyways, guys, remember to make every single day a Friday. Grab yourself a Friday t-shirt, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.